let's take a quick look at the Ghostbusters Plasma Pack from Hasbro. And for those of you who aren't aware of this set, this is a 4-pack of the original 4 Ghostbusters, done in the 3.75-inch G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero style figure with the O-ring and that articulation. To me, in other words, this is a 4-pack of Ghostbusters action figures that we deserved back in the 80s. We had to wait till 2024 to get them, but nevertheless, they're here now. And on top of that, they come in this really, really nice packaging. I don't typically keep packages, but this one I might have to keep, which it's done in the style of like a big weathered VHS box, which I love. I do have a modest collection of VHS cassettes, so I might actually have to keep this box on the shelf next to those. And it is a window box. I don't know how in focus that is. And I do think, yes, they also put out for the, I don't know what you want to call this, the plasma line or whatever, the 40th anniversary plasma, blah, blah, blah. They did also give us an Ecto-1, which I have not gotten, and I've actually heard mixed things about it, so I might just pass on that. But I couldn't pass on this. So yeah, let's get these guys out. And they look great and they feel great, and let's talk about them. And let me just first quickly give my disclaimer on I guess just how I feel about this style of action figure. To me, this is like the pinnacle of action figure engineering and design and execution. The 3.75-inch O-ring G.I. Joe style figure is, as far as like the flexibility, the posability, the durability, I think this was as good as it gets as far as toys are concerned. I had endless play scenarios with G.I. Joe figures, who I actually also used for all other manner of play scenario as a kid. I was actually more of a movie buff as a kid than I was a cartoon guy. So I probably played with certain G.I. Joe figures as if they were certain movies back in the 80s. Maybe not Ghostbusters, because I don't recall off the top of my head any G.I. Joe figures that could pass as Ghostbusters figures, but I vividly remember wishing these guys existed back in the day. I would have gone nuts over these kind of this style of action figure done in homage to the Ghostbusters. And here, actually, I have a bunch of G.I. Joe stuff in the background. So yeah, I mean, it's different plastic qualities, but that's the norm these days. But yeah, it's 3.75-inch figures with exactly the same construction as the original. Come on, Ray. The original G.I. Joe figures, A Real American Hero figures. And before we take a closer look at these guys, I also have to admit openly for the first time that I was never a fan of the cartoonification of these characters. Like, I watched the real Ghostbusters cartoon, and I did have some of those toys, but playing with those toys and imagining that they were these characters from the movie was always a little bit of a bridge too far for me as a kid. There you go. I just had to get that off my chest. So each of these guys comes with their proton pack that already comes on their back, that are more than detailed enough to me. This hose or this wire and like the gun nozzle part, they come separate and they just clip into the proton packs. And since we're right here looking at Venkman, you can see that even for this scale figure, the molding, the sculpting is really nice. Like that to me is definitely Bill Murray. And you know, the suits are well molded, well sculpted. I love the little Ghostbusters logo. Everything is very, I mean, very detailed. As more detailed than I expected, honestly. And I like that they're kind of individualized a little bit. Like Venkman never had like his pants tucked into his boots, and therefore he doesn't here in his action figure. I decided to give Egon the PKE reader or whatever it was called, which is again also detailed enough. The reader here, Ray's goggles, and the trap are all done in a little bit of a softer plastic, which I don't mind. It makes it easier to get them into the grips of the figures. But there we go. There's Egon. And since I already grabbed Winston, we'll look at him again. He's clearly the most cheerful of the bunch. The likenesses of the actors for this scale figure is really, really nice. And of course, Ray, who also, you know, I kind of feel like at this scale, like Dan Aykroyd has got a very nondescript face, but that's Dan Aykroyd. Yeah, that's Dan. And yeah, that's just a quick look at something that is, to me, has been a long time coming, is really simple, but so solid in its execution. I mean, getting Ghostbusters action figures in this scale, in this design, is sort of like a childhood dream kind of come true. You know, several decades too late to some extent, but I'm glad that these are here now and they are part of my collection. So yeah, highly recommend the plasma pack from Hasbro for the original 4 Ghostbusters.